guys, welcome back to the Intel Extreme Masters Shanghai, as we now have our next series on the way, and it's going to be a good one, I think.
It's going to be a good one, but why did you put a good shirt on? Why didn't you?
Why did I what?
Why did you put a good shirt on? That's not how you came here today. That's not how you are dressed.
You're right, because it's pretty hot.
I wish the people could see what a tourist you look like here. You have like shorts. Somebody like you who always dresses so well. Like I can't believe I've seen you like this.
Dude,
I've seen your dark side now.
This is the first time I've worn shorts in like 10 years. So it's appropriate though. It's the hottest I've ever experienced here in China right now. So pretty darn hot. But we have DongRaeGu versus Grubby on the way.
I couldn't even believe it when I was told I was going to cast this series.
Yeah.
Apparently Grubby neither, because he just left and started the game.
Grubby's last MVP win. DRG wins the first game. GG. But no. Yeah, this is pretty good. You guys just had Grubby versus Loner, correct?
Yeah.
Where we saw a lot of mech.
Yeah, I was really surprised.
I was surprised.
You know,
as well.
It's funny because Grubby asked me if I knew anything about Loner. I'm like, oh yeah, he's a bio guy who always plays big macro games.
Did you really say that?
Yeah.
Oh.
And then now, when I went backstage, Grubby saw me and he smiled and he said, "Hey, thanks for the heads up." He's like, "Thanks for the advice." That really helped.
Seemingly so. Well, he bought himself time, so all was good. But now moving on to DRG versus Grubby, it's weird because both of these guys in Heart of the Swarm have very, very similar win percentages going up against their respective races. Grubby has 56% against Zerg, whereas DongRaeGu only has 58% against Protoss, which it's DongRaeGu. You expect it to be a little bit higher than that, but evidently not right now. He is in a little bit of a shaky position at the moment, but he's still very good.
I feel like DongRaeGu has always been unstable against Protoss throughout his career. He was most known for his Zerg versus Terran.
Yeah.
His Zerg versus Zerg always been very strong, but versus Protoss, it's always seemed like he either crushes them or he gets crushed.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we'll see now. Jumping into game number 1 here, guys, for this series. We have DongRaeGu and Grubby playing off against one another. Newkirk Precinct is our map, and we have spawned at the bottom left-hand corner as our blue Zerg. It will be DongRaeGu. And spawning down to the bottom right-hand corner as our red Protoss, we have none other than Grubby. Grubster.
Maynard already made that joke.
Did he?
He said that we are from Team Grubby.
Dude. Damn Maynard.
It's too late. It's interesting to note that I think it was Grubby's pick, this map.
I think I actually don't know.
Yeah.
Was it Grubby's map?
Yeah. And I think DongRaeGu, it was Whirlwind or Neoplanet, I think.
We'll see when we get there.
Yeah, as Protoss, I don't mind this map, but I don't find it super good. And Grubby here, it looks like he might go for a gateway expand. I mean, you see something crazy like a 4-gate, but you know, you saw the first game of Grubby versus Loner? Grubby did something I would have never expected. He went for Nexus first.
I didn't see the very beginning of the game.
He went for Nexus first on this map, so...
Wow.
Grubby definitely feel... okay, double gas. Definitely feel here that he could do something crazy. He's already done something kind of crazy. Do
you feel that Grubby is going to be the kind of guy here against DongRaeGu to go into the big macro game, or do you think it's 2 base plays here?
I think Grubby is confident enough in himself to take a 3rd base and take it to the very late game. He has very good decision making. He reads the game well. He has good micro. It's all going to come down to, I feel, the mid game. The mid game is where it happens in this series, in my opinion. Like, can Grubby scout well enough to see DRG's transition or whatever he's doing and adapt well enough to it? Or does he go himself into... Oh, whoa! DongRaeGu going for the hatch.
Oh, hello.
That's surprising. And Grubby not going for Zealot here, this is going to be a big deal.
Yeah.
It's going to be very hard for him to cancel this. I think he's going to go for a Stalker first. Okay, no, he does start the Zealot finally, but considering how late he started it, I think this is going to be a cancel for sure. Unless he can get with his probe early enough. Because usually, you want to start the Zealot right after the core so that they finish at the same time.
Well,
so you can start the Stalker, but now, look.
It's an interesting play here by DongRaeGu, considering what he's already seen.
Oh, he cancelled!
Oh.
He cancelled before he started the hatch.
And he went for his probe. Oh, dear me. Well, not the best start here for Grubby. I mean, DongRaeGu can easily even cancel the hatch and then throw down an evolution chamber in position of this.
Yeah, but I mean, it's too late. Like, now he's completely started the hatchery, so like usually you let it finish at this point because your opponent cannot get a clear cancel. Like even if it finishes with like few hit points, the creep will spread at least a very little or remain there.
But the thing is, I mean, he starts a robo facility. I'm assuming to get the observer out just in case a queen pops out and has creep tumors and laying around there and stuff like that.
I've seen this in some Korean games. Maybe it was DongRaeGu or someone like that. He just went for the robo and then he got the observer, 2 immortals. And then he started dropping all over the place. Since now the War Prism is so fast, and your opponent delays his take a lot by doing this, because he's gone for double hatchery before pull. DongRaeGu is going for speed behind this to be safe. If Grubby goes for double immortal and then the War Prism here, he's going to be in a very good position. And you know, already having the Zealots, getting a Stalker behind this and having the Mothership Core, a Queen could not even put down a Crypt Tumor. So as much as his expansion is delayed, he could do lots of damage. What do you think?
Well, seems like he's going to kill the hatchery in the end, and the creep will delay it for a little bit longer, but you're right. I mean, it would be harder to actually make that work. He's going to go for some Zerglings and try and force this back. If the Stalker wasn't micro properly, he could have maybe got it, but I don't think that's going to be the case. Tries to dart on in, tries to do some damage to probes, but there's not really a whole lot he can do. At least he gets good scouting information.
Yeah, that's very important.
Yeah.
Wow, this hatchery, man. It was there until the 6th minute.
That's really annoying for Grubby.
Grubby sneaked a probe into his opponent's main, but it's finally gone down. The Zerglings, I don't think they kill any probe. DongRaeGu has killed 1 probe so far in this game, and that's the one that was just in his main. Oh, DongRaeGu starts a Spore Crawler in his main. He's anticipating a War Prism headed his way. He was going to go for a 30 cancel, and then he remade it. DongRaeGu, you know, I've seen him do that before.
Yeah.
In an official game. I wonder if it's a hotkey problem or like if he just can't take the decision. Oh wow, more Zerglings starting on Grubby's expansion.
I mean, why
He's
not?
not seeing it right now. Well, he could see it.
Well, yeah, sees them barely at the end of that pylon, but I mean, this is a bit of an interesting call here from DongRaeGu.
Grubby's all in.
Generally, yeah. I mean, he kind of has to. There's not really a whole lot he can do in terms of it, and he hasn't made any more workers. He's only at 17 on his minerals at least.
I'm surprised he doesn't have an extra gate behind this. He can just get Zealot sentries and try to kill all those links. He has to leave here.
Zergling's in the mid, trying to buy him some time here, making those Zealots dance while they can, and he's still doing a little bit of damage in the main here as well. So really keeping him back. This is annoying for Grubby. He hasn't been able to fully commence the plan that he wanted to, going into a more macro focus, and Zerglings are going to pounce on this Immortal.
Not quite the game I was expecting here. Wow, this Immortal is going to fall. DongRaeGu doesn't have much at home. He just needs to make some spine. He's making only Zerglings right now. He knows this is a one-base all-in.
Yeah, even trying to chase down that sentry, but Force Fields as well as Time Warp will save it for now. But without that much energy, he needs to accumulate that energy once again to make it even more valuable. Oh no! The sentries get caught out in a terrible position.
One of them actually survived here. It's going to be picked up by the War Prism. Those Zerglings get a surround. Grubby goes for the recall. I'm surprised he went for it.
Yeah, I mean, with that recall now, he's going to try and go into a macro game or something, but I don't think he can at this point.
I think he had to. He was surrounded, completely surrounded. He was going to lose everything.
It's either die there or go into a longer game.
And pick later. Oh, the Zerglings again surround.
Later could be now. Those Zealots, so much surface area for these Zerglings to actually chew on down, and well, the Zealots will hold on for now, as well as the Immortals surviving, but...
Hello, probe. Goodbye, probe. The Zerglings snipe the probe immediately. DongRaeGu, his worker count is not actually that high. It's only 36 against 22 probes. Some more sentries will be dropped. The Queen targeting the War Prism here.
Very, very clever move here with that Queen. Really puts a timer on these units. They can only stay there for so long. And he does pull back in the end with a few of the sentries. Zealots left to die. They'll try and fend for themselves. But meanwhile, in the middle of the map, that push does commence.
Grubby is going to commit to this one base. He's not thrown down the Nexus on his expansion. Very well placed Overlord by DongRaeGu, by the way. Oh, yeah. Just above the natural, making sure it's not started.
Annoying position here for Grubby to be in. Leia is morphing in as well for DongRaeGu, so he feels a little bit more comfortable to transition off the back of this. That's a bit of an annoying army at the front here for him to deal with. And just making sure he can try and snipe out the pylons. A pretty good move. He has spine crawlers at the front of his natural. Not necessarily at his third, though.
Yeah, the Queen gets taken down immediately. If Grubby moves into this third base, like right in the middle, it's going to be so hard for Zerglings to engage. Right now, I'm kind of surprised. He's standing there in the middle. It feels like he has enough to take on any amount of Zerglings.
I mean, 2 Immortals provide great firepower with... yeah, he has a lot of Zealots there. I don't know how well he's going to be able to break this natural, though.
Wow. So many Zealots. This actually looks really scary.
Yeah, it kind of does. And he's keeping them well protected. The Immortals at the front, at least until... Oh, Zerglings from both sides could be
nice
very scary. Yeah, very nice.
Oh, the Warp Prism!
Oh, he can't reinforce anymore. He has no pylons, right?
Yeah, the pylon was taken down by the Zerglings earlier. But DongRaeGu, wow, he has as many Zerglings as there are Zealots somehow. He's finally getting roaches.
Yeah, those are really going to put a big dent in the armor of these Zealots here. With that Immortal going down in the end, that was DongRaeGu's plan all along. Kill off the Immortals, have the Roach follow up to only deal with the Zealots. DongRaeGu playing this game out very intelligently.
And Grubby is going to try to retreat with just 3 Zealots here. I mean, where do you go from there? He has so little probes in his main. He's going to warp in some sentries. He might go for the expansion. He at least killed the 3rd base. The thing is, he lost all of his Immortals, so now he's getting his first Immortal backup in this game.
Yeah.
And with all these roaches out on the map, I think DongRaeGu could just go for the kill here if he just makes Zerglings behind this. But no, he's going to cut production of roaches and Zerglings, start some drones. He's getting roach speed right now. Already having Lair. He's starting some extra gases. I think if he just goes into Spire from there, there's nothing Grubby can do.
Yeah, just play the safe game here from DongRaeGu. And, I mean, it's been a weird game at the very beginning of this series, but in the end, DongRaeGu's decisions, they've paid off. These roaches aren't really going to do too much, but at least once again, he gets the confirmation that still there is no Nexus down, which he knows how much of a lead he currently has.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised Grubby hasn't thrown down the Nexus. I think he's going to keep on going with this one base. DongRaeGu being across the map now, he gets some of his units caught out of position. He's going to lose them, but with the Spire on the way, DongRaeGu is going to start banking a lot of gas, and if he can make 10 Mutas at once, there is 1 Stalker and 5 sentries that can attack air.
Yeah, not so much a good position here for Grubby. He's going to try and constantly fend this off. A little bit of a pause once again.
DongRaeGu is actually choosing to go for lots of roaches against this. It feels like this army is too small to be a real danger for him, so he's getting lots of roaches, playing it safe.
Yeah.
Instead of just getting Zerglings and Spines and going for Mutas and base trade. Oh, he actually cancels his 3rd base.
I think he should still be extremely safe, though. He knows that he's always, because the Nexus was so late, even if he cancels that out, he's going to be up. And there is an Overseer actually morphing in to scout that out in the timing of that base once again.
That's very important, because the Overlord at the Natural was killed. Now DongRaeGu needs to confirm there is no 3rd base, so he's going to send an Overseer there. He's going to be able to see that there is a Nexus. That doesn't mean that Grubby's army is not scary at all next to his base. It's very scary right now, against ground, that is.
Yeah, 2 Immortals still very strong there in the position, but will pull back just a little bit for now. I mean, the whole time he's out in the middle of the map for Grubby, the more time his opponent's going to be able to amass roaches, and then he has the production capabilities that are so much superior here to Grubby. But one of those Immortals, I mean, he got quite a lot of roaches there, actually.
Some of these roaches decided they didn't want to live anymore. And, nice counter-attack by DongRaeGu. Grubby's not ready for this. His sentry is going to die immediately. DongRaeGu cool stream into the main. He chooses to go for the probes in the expansion.
Yeah, that's a lot of damage being done here by DongRaeGu once again, and Grubby over the other side of the map, I think he just kind of has to go for it. There is a pylon to be able to reinforce, but he has no money to reinforce, having to warp in Stalkers back at home.
Oh, he recalls.
Hello,
warp sentry at the ramp.
Well, I think that despite the recall, he's already lost 15 workers.
He warps the sentry down the ramp, but Roach is already down. Nice run force field, not going to do much. Double the supply right now for DongRaeGu, who's looking to start some Mutas. He's got enough gas for 7.
Yep, scrambling for the defense here. And DongRaeGu pushing across once again with a pretty hefty army. I mean, how many roaches does he actually have? 23 right now. With +1 weapons finishing up as well. All these little small incremental advantages he's getting.
Hefty.
Very good. Hefty?
Yeah, what is hefty?
What did I say?
Hefty? Pretty hefty.
Hefty. Oh, hefty. Oh, it kind of means bulky and strong and brutal.
Okay, keep using more words that I don't know.
That's just like old times. Oh, God.
Grubby right now, he has no idea about the Spire, and he's in for a treat. He's getting more Immortals. I think he thinks DongRaeGu has less economy than he does, and he's committing to roaches, but that's not the case. DongRaeGu has done the very smart switch here. Grubby's going to start moving across the map. He does not have enough energy for a recall right now. He's got 58. Yeah. He's actually pulling back right now. Well, if he could scout the Spire, he would at least...
He scouted it already. He's just saw it with a hallucinated Phoenix. So, I mean, he knows it's there.
What does he go for?
I don't know. This is going to be difficult.
Stargates? I think double Stargates will be his only chance. Camping at his expansion with the sentries, leaving some Stalkers in the main.
The only chance, but even then it's slim, you know? Like, super slim. It's going to be difficult. There's going to be 13 mutas on the map very soon. There's already 10. 3 are going to join it in a second. And those mutas flying in, going to kill off plenty of probes.
The worst feeling ever for probes.
Yeah. That's tough, man. That's tough.
I just got a flashback from my games against all of
yeah.
the first game where the mutas flying in, I'm like, oh my god.
Not the mutas, no! Well, they're even engaging the stalkers straight up, and fortunately for Grubby, I think that's gonna put the nail in the coffin for him here. 35 workers have already died off, along with 16 only left.
Bottom of the charge will buy him some time, but I mean, look at his supply.
Comes in, focuses down pylons or even the cybernetics core, limiting how much can actually happen here. DongRaeGu is in a commanding position, 75 army supply against pretty pitiful. Sorry, so that's 74 worker supply against 14.
Yeah.
Ouch.
That's not very good income for the Protoss. Grubby's thrown down the Stargate in his wall here. He's going to move across the map, but I mean, DongRaeGu could just win with only his mutas here. But he chooses to go for the other way. Only the roaches.
Straight up engagement. Kills him off. GG. DRG takes the first game in a pretty convincing fashion. A very unorthodox opener from him, but I mean, Grubby just didn't really deal with it too well.
I feel like DongRaeGu's biggest weakness is that he's too indecisive sometimes. Like he doesn't know, he hesitates between two tech paths, and then he goes halfway for one and then halfway for another. Like he doesn't go all the way for one, like Live does, for example.
Yeah.
Live plays very aggressive and he just completely goes for what he wants. DongRaeGu, he still look very good, macro-wise, decision-making.
I've got to ask, if you are confronted with such a strat from your Zerg opponent, what do? You see a hatchery in your natural.
I know I need not to let it get up. Like you need to see it earlier. Grubby's build order wasn't great. Like he was in bad position from the start. Like he had to wait until he sees if there is something on his expansion before cancelling the Zealot. And then he would let the Zealot finish, pull 4 or 5 probes, make sure the hatch doesn't get up, and then it's a completely different game. Yeah. The problem with this is that as players, we play lots of games and sometimes we go on autopilot. Like after you play 10 games against a Zerg, or maybe probably even more, they've never proxied hatch. You're like, I'm just gonna make another probe faster and start my Zealot late. Because he gets his Zealot late, his Zealot, he just also cancels it earlier than his probe reaches his expansion just because he wants to start something else earlier. And then in the end, he finds himself in a situation he would never have found himself if he had just played with a state of mind thinking, I should be getting ready for everything.
Yeah.
But I have to say, DongRaeGu, I wouldn't usually expect this out of him. Like you expect a proxy hatch like this, like against Bly, Nurture, Cats.
Yeah, just.
But if you play DongRaeGu, you really think like he's gonna play in the most standard possible way, and then just try to outplay you in the big macro game with lots of important decisions.
It took me by surprise as well. I've got to admit, it took me by surprise quite heavily. There was a point where you got you actually said, "Oh, there's a hatchery going down in his natural." I was like, "What, really?" That was pretty wild. But anyway. So, game number 2 will be on Belshir Vestige. Countdown has begun here for this next game. Will DongRaeGu advance on 2-0? I'm curious where he is in the bracket, actually. Both players have already won 2 series, right? So that means the winner of this advances on.
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
That's a big match right there, and the loser gets another chance later on.
So guys, let's jump into game number 2 here as we have Belshir Vestige, our map. Spawning down to the bottom right. Oh, well, maybe not. You dropped, Grubby dropped, everyone dropped. So
domino effect, man.
Protoss. That's what I'm going to put it down to.
Protoss Brotherhood, I dropped, and then Grubby was like, I cannot play this without Todd in the game.
Seemingly. He needs your camaraderie. That's what needs to happen. All right, so we need to get this hosted again. An interesting event here in Shanghai. I must admit, it's insanely warm, as I said before. It's the warmest I've ever experienced. Not only
really?
An event, but outside.
But it's not that sunny, though.
No,
otherwise,
it's not.
you will be all red.
Yeah, I'm glad for that. I don't need the skin to match my hair. I'll just stick with the hair, thanks.
You have the skin to match your hair. You're very pale.
Yeah, well,
so am I.
I'm a ghost, basically. I am the whitest person I've ever met.
Wow. This degenerated very quickly.
It did. But we are just now waiting for game number 2. Okay, re-DM Grubby, all is good. Countdown has begun here for game number 2 once again.
Give us a prediction on strategies.
Prediction on strategies? I think Grubby is disconnected from the lobby. Weird. I think Grubby doesn't let that happen again. I don't think DongRaeGu would go for it again. And then Grubby, I would say, does play out a macro game here. 3 base on Belshir Vestige.
But does he go for Stargate or Twilight or Robo?
I'll go Stargate. We've seen a lot of Stargate already today. Tons.
You know, I was watching lots of games backstage actually, and MC, Jim, they Stargate a lot.
All the Stargates. We've already seen a ton. Hey, even against all the Terrans, just 10 Phoenix. Let's go, man.
Myung-Sik as well. Myung-Sik, I saw one of his game against Zerg. He was on triple Stargate, which is like kind of the new strategy, you know, with all the Void Race. Except he was getting Colossus out of one Robo as well. And he crushed the guy who was playing so hard.
It's already been a wild few games. It really has. Lots of Phoenix. I think maybe Shanghai will just be the Phoenix tournament. Every single game. Just see a ton of Phoenix. And I don't mind that. I think Phoenix in Wings of Liberty weren't really as explored as they could have been, and now coming into Heart of the Swarm, I think, you know, if we keep seeing this amount of Phoenix come out, it's very cool.
Some players really make them look like they are the best unit in the game, like Rain, you know? When Rain uses Phoenix, it's like two persons are playing. One guy is controlling the Phoenixes and killing lots of units. The other guy is macroing back at home.
Yeah, man. All right, game number 2. Let's hope we are second time successful here as we jump in to Belshir Vestige. Let's go as we have spawning up to the top left-hand corner as our blue Zerg. No way.
Was in Feza this time.
No one wants to play this game. Oh, okay.
Maybe the map is a bit bugged.
Need to yes we do. That's actually a good point. It could be a map bug because we actually had that in the past in an ESL map.
Okay, Kylaris, we can just remake.
We could just remake. No, that'd be fine as well. We've had games work on Belshir Vestige today.
Thank God, man. It's a good map.
Yeah, it's a good map. You liking that one?
I really like Belshir Vestige.
Yeah, man.
It's my favorite map. What have I done? Everybody's got a veto it against me.
Yeah, man.
It's my favorite map, but a lot of players like it, I think, in general. Like, if you have a 7 maps map pool and you have vetoes, you will, I feel, almost always see it, no matter the matchup. Am I wrong?
No, I think it's a good map.
I know mostly about Protoss.
You see it a lot. You see it a lot. Especially in WCS, we've seen it tons as well. So a good map.
It's the new Zelaga Caverns.
In fact, I think we saw it so much that in the majority of the groups, we've seen it every single game. So it's definitely up there with a lot of people's favorite maps. But now, once again, guys, we're just waiting to get into this game. This is the most drops I've actually had in a series, but there you go. It's all good. It's all good.
Man, I wish people could see your shorts, seriously.
Yeah?
Your shorts look so funny.
Dude,
You look like an absolute tourist. All you need is your camera wrapped around your neck.
There was no way I was going to turn up in trousers to this event. That sounds really bad. But anyway.
I'm the only one who did.
You are the only one that did. Do you still have that? Yeah, you do. All right. I feel sorry for you, ma'am. It was 40 degrees yesterday, according to our production, in the venue.
What's funny is that even at night, it's like really warm.
Yeah, it's crazy. It really is crazy. But
we have AC at least here.
Hey?
We have the AC.
We do have the AC. It's all good now. Apart from there's a lot of people in here as well. All right, game number 2, once again, here as we jump into Belshir Vestige, and spawning up to the top left-hand corner as our blue Zerg. We have MVP DongRaeGu. And spawned down to the bottom right-hand corner as our red Protoss. Currently 1 game down, needs to bring it back. We have Grubby.
You know, in Korean, you need to say DongRaeGu.
DongRaeGu?
I'm just kidding. There is this one French commentator. He's called Ponf. He always says it like this. Oh, I heard him say it like this before, and I thought it was really cool.
Yeah? Pretty good.
Yeah, you were there. I think it was Iron Squid.
Was it Iron Squid?
He was like, DongRaeGu.
Did you listen to the French broadcast whilst we were there?
Sometimes.
Okay. Because I don't even know where they were showing that, but yeah, that was a good tournament, that. Unfortunately, I was sick the entire time. Do you remember? God, that was brutal. But anyway, onto this game, onto this tournament, obviously.
Grubby does look like he wants to go for a Forge Expand here. He's gone for the pylon down his ramp, but didn't scout.
I think this is a wise decision considering what I saw in game number 1.
I don't think it's a wise decision.
You don't think?
Like DongRaeGu did something a little bit unusual for himself. What if he goes 10 pole in this game? Grubby is going to be in so much trouble. He's going to lose his Forge, his pylon, He's gonna have to make a cannon in his main. Behind this, DongRaeGu expands. Even like, not even just a 10 pull, like I think 11 or 12 even would do.
You think that would still breach?
Barely. 10 pull will for sure.
Yeah.
On this map you can wall. If you put the cannon in your wall, I guess you can wall with like just some more buildings. He's at least scouting behind it. And he took a very weird pass. Oh, he might go for a cannon rush.
Maybe.
I just realized, because I guess he got the forge a little bit late, but he went all the way to the left to try and start scouting his opponent. So maybe Grubby wants to cannon rush a hatch first.
Well, look at DongRaeGu. He's bringing 2 drones down already, realizing that that probe was going in a little bit of a weird direction.
Yeah, I think Grubby wanted to go for the cannon rush, but now seeing all those 3 drones, and especially the one on the top right here, because he wants to throw down the pylon there.
And then kind of box things in.
Yeah.
It works a little bit better on the south side, I believe. SOS has shown that many a time. But
you need to know when to say, this is not going to work and not do it. That's exactly what I don't know. That's why I still would have tried.
Let's go, guys! Woo! But no, behind this, Grubby going for the Nexus. He's going for the gateway as well as the second pylon. Gas is going down. And DongRaeGu, he's very content in the knowledge that, hey, that probe was moving in a weird direction. That probably was his opponent's plan from the very get-go.
The second overload really helped, seeing this coming, and then with the 3 drones in position, he didn't mind for some time, but at least he didn't get cannoned and lose his natural from the start.
And, you know, with that second overlord, is that generally the most common scouting pattern? Because that's not normally where I see the second overlord head up to.
Usually, Zerg send it to the natural, but in this case, he wouldn't have done anything. He would have just seen his death coming. Yeah. So very smart here by DongRaeGu.
Well, Grubby's going to try and bring this probe back, save it, as that cannon is going to finish up in a little bit. So Grubby gets the opportunity now in game number 2 to play out the game a little bit longer, which I think will end up benefiting Grubby, certainly. But behind this, he doesn't have any knowledge of his opponent's third base going down, nor will he get it for quite a while. And
I really like how Grubby identified this wasn't going to work, and then he didn't just head home. He scouted the main of DongRaeGu, he saw there was no gas, so now he knows he's going to be very safe. He's not even going to bother and trying to confirm a third base from DongRaeGu. He's just headed back home with his probe. He wants to start mining with it. He's getting the +1 upgrades very early on, actually. Could we see one of those really crazy Grubby 7 gates?
Maybe.
He's not pulled probes from his gases in his main so far. He's still on 3+3.
The pylon in the back of Grubby's main is what I'm looking to spot what he's actually going to throw down. That's generally where he would actually put things. DongRaeGu positioning an overlord, though, to maybe scout out something eventually. And did he ever get confirmation of the third? I don't think so.
No, like I was explaining, he didn't. Like he felt like he didn't need to because his opponent didn't have gas.
Okay.
Grubby, what are you cooking for us? No Stargate has been thrown down just yet. Grubby's kind of boosting his cybernetic score here. DongRaeGu saw it.
And the probe is actually moving down to the third location.
Maybe a 1-gate third base, yeah. And then you start walling off some cannons between gates and pylons. This is so good.
Yeah, it can be very strong. DongRaeGu, I don't think he's going to see it for a long time either.
I really like how Grubby just confirmed there is a third with his Zelo too.
Yeah.
Oh, he's going to try to get a queen.
He could certainly get this. Oh, actually, that's a lot of Zerglings popping out. Never mind. They just sprung in from every single direction.
Like when I say he could get the queen, that's already like, you know, way overboard. It's like maybe he can get the queen if no drones intervene.
Well, poor little guy. But throwing down 3 extra gateways at that third location, as you said, to box in that cannon, makes it very nicely fortified. The Roach Warren, if DongRaeGu were to make a few roaches, maybe he could start the pressure. But once again, I don't think he's got full confirmation of it. Oh, he does actually have full confirmation of that base with the Overlord. So
of course he does. It's DongRaeGu, man.
Yeah, man. He knows what he's doing. And the layer's morphing in as well. So he has options available to him. I wonder if DongRaeGu from here, do you think he just plays super greedy? Well, I mean, he's already got 9 drones in production, so I guess he is going to play the more greedy game.
This is not greedy yet. Like if he keeps on making drones through gap, say 80 or 90, then that's greedy. Going up to 62 now is standard. And Grubby, look at how many gateways he's got. He's adding 2 more. I think he's going to go for some kind of pressure behind this, hoping that his opponents does what you just mentioned.
Yeah, just assuming that, hey, you've got a third base down, it's time to go for crazy drone amounts. 3 Overlords are in production here, though, for DongRaeGu, so he could quite easily be freeing up a lot of supply for the defense, and there you go. I mean, 18 Zerglings in production, 2 Spine Crawlers going down. He knows that there's the potential of this coming.
The thing is, DongRaeGu is very good at identifying these kind of attacks and strategies, and he's very good at countering them as well. So if you want to fool him, you're gonna have to put in lots of work.
Yeah.
And Grubby, I feel like here, he didn't put in too much work. He just added his gateways, he's gonna start moving across the map. He has the option to recall if things go south, but I mean, he revealed his pylons very early on, so that allows DongRaeGu to start some spines very early on as well. He's got the Hydralisk then. If DongRaeGu only makes Hydralisk from there, he's gonna be very fine.
Yeah, I mean, just the Zerglings to tank, and you get that Zergling Hydra mix that is so good. 11 Hydras now on the way here. Armor, technically for Grubby, is a good choice against this, but I don't even know if that matters. Hydralisks still rip up this armor regardless.
Yeah, I'm really scared for Grubby right now, because behind this, he's got just the one forge on which he's already researched both upgrades. Yeah. He's not rolled on any Twilight Council. He didn't even make a Robo. So he can only get pure gate units, whereas his opponent, he's ahead on economy. He's got Hydralisks, he can make roaches, he's getting double evolution chamber. I feel like DongRaeGu is in great position right now.
Yeah, you're right. The transition here for Grubby is going to be very difficult. He doesn't do some very big damage. Force fields go down slightly haphazardly there as the Zerglings move on forward. They are being tanked quite nicely by those Zealots, and thankfully for those Zealots, since they do have +1, they are two-shotting those Zerglings that did not have the upgrades. The double evolution chambers behind this have only just started. More force fields down, trying to separate up some of those Hydralisks, and, well, I mean, he did a good job of separating everything up.
Yeah, DongRaeGu, he doesn't have much units left there, but he's getting another spine. He's going to pull the drone for the time being. He's getting 10 more Hydralisks, 18 more Zerglings. Mothership Core might go down, barely escaped for the moment. Grubby's just trying to trade here. He wanted to weaken his opponent's economy, but in the end, I think he's just going to be repelled and not going to have too much tech.
Yeah, he pulled all the drones off there, realizing that he was in a little bit of trouble with DongRaeGu, but at the same time now, Grubby still has not taken that supply advantage, which is what he sorely needs here when he's going up against these Hydralisks. And even behind this, DongRaeGu starts +1 melee and carapace, so he feels pretty comfortable right now to hold this off. With muscular augments coming down for the Hydralisks as well, he's going to need a lot of space control with those sentries to try and cut things up to actually do any damage again.
Grubby has just resumed probe production. He's made 2 or 3 probes in each Nexus and boosted all of them, so those look like he's finally identified this is not going to work. I need to transition into something else. He's thrown down a Robo. DongRaeGu flanks from behind here. There is no... Oh, the Mothership Core dies!
Oh!
Those units, they could be stuck on the map if DongRaeGu goes for a huge flank from the bottom of this army and then rallies the newly produced units.
And look at that, Grubby realizes it. He realizes now he has to get out of here, but the Overlord knows the exact positioning. The Zerglings are well poised as well if they want to actually dive in here. With the Hydralisks as well, this could be really bad for Grubby. He really doesn't have that much energy for force fields. He can't actually cordon much of this off.
The thing is, Grubby is 1-1. DongRaeGu is 0-0. So in a direct fight, although DongRaeGu he could kill all of this, he's still going to lose lots of units. He wants to lose as little of them as possible.
Well, force fields down once again. The Hydralisk is doing a lot of damage here, but there's not a whole lot to tank for them. If the army does actually converge on these Hydralisks easily, then it's going to be hard times for these Hydras. The Zergling is going to work as well. Upgrade's not done for them just yet, but there's enough to actually flood on through here, killing off some sentries, and there's not much left here for Grubby. Yeah,
Grubby refused to accept that this army was going to die, so he sent in the reinforcements. The reinforcements died as well. Grubby is down to 28 army supply against 39 right now, but this is just Zealot and Sentries against Hydralisks.
And even behind this, DongRaeGu actually going for the Spire as well, pressuring this third base. The Zerglings and some of the Hydralisks do get pinned up nicely against those Zealots, but I don't think he's going to be able to even hold this off. If DongRaeGu wanted to rally over...
I think, look at DongRaeGu's guys. It is so smart to go for Mutas here. It's like in those low economy games where you keep on fighting, well, I say low economy, but it's low economy 3 base, I guess you could say. Where you keep on fighting and trading, your opponent is almost never going to be ready against either Mutas or Dark Templars, the other way around. If Grubby would go for a quick Dark Shrine behind his gateways there, DongRaeGu really could have been caught off guard if he hadn't scouted it.
No, you're right.
Without Spores and Spines, I mean.
I mean, to back that up fully, for a long time, Grubby was on 54 probes, not making any loss. That insult was going on at his opponent's third base. He's moving out once again.
He's got 1 sentry with enough energy for hallucination, but he's not using it right now, so Grubby's going to have no idea this is coming.
Yeah. Well, he's got 2 Stargates going down behind this as well. Did he see the Spire?
I think he's anticipating it.
Yeah, I mean, he has to. It's such a great option for DongRaeGu to go for the recall out. I mean, he just has to. DongRaeGu is playing this well right now, and Grubby is scrambling to try and get himself back into this.
I think Grubby wants to go into Colossi Void Ray, actually.
You think?
Yeah, because he's getting Colossi, and he's got the double Stargates at the same time, usually.
Yeah. Maybe he wasn't anticipating the Mutas. Maybe this was just an anticipation of some heavier ground army base.
What does he start?
I don't think he's going to start anything, to be honest. He is having to
Go
deal
to
with...
Void Race. Start to Void Race. Make me right.
To Void Race. Well, those Mutalisks are going to pop along very, very soon here, along with the Hydralisks kiting in the middle of the map. And I think it was a great choice for DongRaeGu to also go for Muscular Augments earlier. Oh, it's... I mean, you gotta try.
Oh, he's just saw the Spire with his Observer, actually.
You gotta try.
But the Mutants are gonna fly into the main. This is too early. Grubby's not ready.
And he could just sit above the Stargates, and just kill whatever comes out of them instantaneously. The Phoenix pop, and the Mutants decide, well, not to chase them down too quickly, but just killing off pylons, underpowering everything. 2 Phoenix to deal with these 50 Mutas. It's going to be difficult.
By the way, I know I've already said it, but this is the worst feeling ever for Protoss.
Yeah. Every time. Every single
Photon overcharge.
Don't think it's
the pylon is going to go down. DongRaeGu doing this so well.
Yeah, DongRaeGu's doing so well here. Army supply right now, 108 to 61. Grubby is looking down and out here. He's probably going to end up falling down into that lower bracket, even with the the Hydras and the Zerglings pressuring at the front as well. The 2 Colossi, they're going to get focused down by these Mutalisks. Bringing those down makes it extra easy for these Zerglings and Hydras to do what they need to do.
DongRaeGu showing he's not here for some local food, but to win the tournament.
Even so, man, he wants to get out of the slump that he's been in, that a lot of people have said he's in, and there you go, GG! DongRaeGu takes the series, and I'm pretty sure now that means he advances into groups, right?
While Grubby will have another chance.
Yeah, let me just quickly confirm that, as...
You're gonna love Liquid Video, man.
Brilliant, isn't it? Yeah, that means DongRaeGu advances on. And Grubby will end up playing the winner of either, well, he'll either play Oz, Loner, or Ash to determine if he can get that second spot in that group. But I've got to say that Grubby has already done pretty darn well in these brackets. Yeah. The brackets are pretty stacked.
Grubby only has to beat 1 opponent. He's going to have 1 single match to decide whether or not he advances to the group stage this year. It's going to be very important. I think the clear favorite will be Oz, I guess.
Yeah, looking at that, I would say so as well.
Do you know Ash? I watched Ash.
I don't know Ash, to be honest with you.
I watched Ash versus Oz, and I thought Ash was pretty good.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think it was a game of Besher Vestige. Nathanias was casting, and like for somebody I don't know, I was very impressed. So could be Ash. If Loner goes for Mech again, and Ash saw the games against Grubby.
Yeah, I mean, he has to go through Protoss, and Loner has to go through Protoss in its entirety to actually qualify now. So if he just sticks with his Mech style, he's going to become too predictable. And if Protoss can detect Mech early on, I would say it's pretty easy to counter. Grubby made it look very impressive.
Yeah.
So, anyway, guys, that does it for this series. We shall go to a break, and then when we're back, we'll have some more StarCraft action here from the Intel Extreme Masters Shanghai very soon.